about to pay off. So the 49ers starting training camp today, or veterans are reporting today. I don't know if they're going to be on the field or all that other stuff, but training camp gets underway. Last week, while I was gone, Jauan Jennings came out and through his agent and Adam Schefter and all this other stuff said he wants more money. He wants a new contract or he wants to be traded. And there's a few things going on right now. There's a few things at play. The 49ers wide receiver room is looking a little bleak. And I'm not talking Memphis. We thought everything was all good with Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall is about to start off on the PUP list because he's got a hamstring thing going on. Yikes. Yikes. His hamstring is starting to remind me of Devin Carter's shoulder. If you watch those games during Summer League, Devin Carter
just throwing it around.
Yeah, all the time. Like, bro, is this going to be a thing forever? Is this, and I'm not even trying to talk crazy about my man, but is this a chronic thing where the shoulder is just never going to feel right? It's always hanging on by a thread. It might be. But now I'm thinking about Ricky Pearsall, and we got to talk about this hamstring. Is this going to be chronic? Because everything was pointing to you were going to be good. You're going to be ready to go. And now you're going to start off on the PUP list due to the hamstring situation. Now, I saw Matt Mayuko said he's starting off on the PUP list, but it's not really that big of a concern. He should be good to go relatively soon. There's been no setback since it was announced earlier in the offseason with Kyle Shanahan. They're not at the point right now where things are going to be, an issue. But I say all that to say, Jauan Jennings is like, yo, Pearsall's down. Then you go through that wide receiver room, and the guy they signed, Robinson, he's probably facing suspension. You've got my boy Jacob Cowing. Who knows how he's gonna perform? I'm high on him. I think he's gonna be a good ball player, but he's unproven. And you've got rookies as well that are unproven. So Jauan Jennings is like, look, man, I was your number one wide receiver last year. Brandon Ayuk is still out as well. He starts the season on the PUP list. And who knows when he's going to come back. I was your number one wide receiver. I need to get paid more than what I did. I understand it. I get it. This is a situation where he's looking at his guaranteed money and his contract, and he kind of sees an opportunity that they're going to need me a little bit. So I need to get paid, or maybe you can move on from me. Here's where I'm not going to say he loses me, but this is now when I morph into KC, the GM. And this is where the Jerry Jones aspect comes into play a little bit. So if I'm Parag Marathe and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, I'm looking at this situation like, Jauan, we do need you. We do see the wide receiver room. You had a heck of a season last year. You've been a heck of a wide receiver for the 49ers. You almost won the Super Bowl MVP. But here's the deal. And maybe I've got a little bit of PTSD when it comes to holdouts, contract situations, and signing players who threaten to hold out or actually execute it. Hold out, hold in, whatever. It's not good either way. Because the last 3 times that has happened to me, once again, I'm speaking as the member of the 49ers front office, it hasn't turned out well on the court, on the field. Nick Bosa, he held out. We paid him his money. Jesse, would you say Nick Bosa underperformed that year?
Yes.
Didn't work out, at least in the immediate time. I mean, and he's never gotten back to that level of where he was the previous year.
Yeah, that's the everyone's been kind of waiting on that year he had.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten back to that. I believe it was the following year. Maybe I have them mixed up. Maybe they're in reverse. But Deebo Samuel,
He's in Washington now. That's how that turned out.
was he ever the player that he was leading into those contract negotiations?
No.
Okay. Brandon Ayuk, the most recent one, he held out, held in, whatever you want to say. He wasn't ready to go for training camp and was trying to get his money. We eventually gave him what he was looking for. He got out there. And even before the season-ending injury that may have derailed his career permanently, was he looking like anything during the season?
No.
So I'm looking at this situation potentially if I'm the 49ers and I'm saying, Jauan, you're talking about holding out and what it's going to look like if you hold out, if you don't show up, what the wide receiver room is looking like if you're not here and you guys need me and all this other stuff. I'm not saying he's saying that, but that could be some of the conversations. Dog, history tells me if you hold out and we give you your money, you're not going to be any good. So what's the loss? Why would I, outside of just good faith and good business and doing stuff, why would I give you this money? It has not worked out for me literally ever in this situation. Now, when you talk about guys like Purdy, like Fred Warner, like George Kittle, who didn't hold out, who were ready for training camp, who got paid, it's been cool. I forgot another one that I didn't mention that I was thinking about as well. Trent Williams held out last year, wanted his money. How did his season go last year?
He was there.
He was hurt half the year.
That's true.
They damn near played none of the season.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at you like, dog, no disrespect. And I understand that you, as the player, you're probably going to be like, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm trying to get my money right now. But as the team that you're asking the money for, dog, this has not worked. For the last 3 or 4 years, this has not worked. The guy that holds out wants the money. We give it to him, and he plays below the standard of the contract all 4 times.
Jauan isn't holding out, though, right? He's just let everyone know he's unhappy and he's going to be there. Or is he
The last I heard, it was a hold-in situation potentially.
Okay, yeah, because that's how he's going to be there. But I don't know. That's what I said. I don't know if it's a hold-in or like, all right, he's going to be running drills.
That's what I heard. That's what Ayuk did last year. The last I heard, it was a hold-in situation. Bottom line is, it's not you're out here getting ready to play. It's not you're out here participating in all the team drills. And I'm not. Look, that's his leverage. That's Jauan. From Jauan Jennings' point of view, I understand it. I get it. This is the time to do it. This is maybe your one chance at a big payday. I think they're saying he wants like $20 million a year. He wants a different guarantee and all this other stuff. If I'm the 49ers, I'll probably end up doing it. Like, I'll probably end up doing it just because this is the situation I'm in. I got to deal with it. But there's some reservation. And this is where Jerry Jones comes into play. Because when Jerry Jones said what he said yesterday about Michael Parsons, you don't have to play the clip. We have Jerry. I got Jerry right here. Jerry, come on in the studio. Jerry, yeah. Take a seat. First of all, I'm not really a big fan of you. I just want to say that to your face. I don't really like you. I don't like your team, but I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. Now, somebody asked you yesterday about the Micah Parsons situation, and what did you say exactly? Because I don't want to misquote. What did you say? Well, KC, I want to first of all say hello to Stanley because I know he's a listener. I know he's had my back when you guys have tried to kick my back in on this show. And I just want to thank Stanley. And Stanley, if you're listening, we can go to Morton's and get a bite to eat anytime. So thank you, Stanley. But what I said was, sometimes it doesn't matter if you pay a guy and you pay a Micah Parsons because Micah only played 6 games last year. It could happen again. There was another time when I paid somebody one of the biggest contracts in the NFL, if not the biggest. And he was out for 2/3 of the season. and that's Dak Prescott. So what you need to understand is it doesn't always matter if you pay the guy. Then that's what we're dealing with right now with Micah. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. You can leave now. You can leave. But
Also threw shots at Diggs as well on his team about paying him.
Wait, I didn't see the Diggs.
Yeah, he was like, we paid him. That was probably a mistake. I'm paraphrasing. That's essentially what he said.
Oh, Jesus. Come on, man. But here's what I'll say. And mind you, I want to repeat because sometimes y'all don't be listening to me. In my heart of hearts, if I'm the 49ers, I'm probably going to pay Jauan Jennings because that's kind of what I have to do. I just kind of like, honestly, he caught me at the right time because I don't want to go through this mess again, talking about I'm the 49ers. I don't want to go through this mess again. I really just want this to be over and focus on being a winning football team. So I might just pay him the money. But it's funny what Jerry's saying, but I do understand what he was saying. He was essentially saying, like, I could pay this guy all this money and then he's just hurt or his production is down. And I've seen that, and me, Kenny, I've seen that for the last 4 years with these contract negotiations with the 49ers. These guys hold out, and that's their prerogative. They're trying to get paid. I get it. But they hold out, they get the contract, and then all 4 of them have underperformed.
That's fine. You could think that. You can't say that. Well, no, like you can't say that out loud.
No, Jerry can't say it. You can say that during the negotiations, but you can't say that out loud. But
John Lynch spoke today, and he says he anticipates Jauan Jennings being out there. I don't know if that's GM speak for like just getting out in front of it and then putting the bad side on Jauan if he's not out there. But I mean, if he's not holding out and all that stuff, do you feel any differently about it? And he's willing to practice through it?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I feel good. Let's pay him. Let's make sure he's good to go. Like I said, number one, because he's been a good 49er. I didn't want to use the term good soldier, but he's been a good 49er. And he has been a hell of a find. I think Jauan was like a six round pick or something like that out of Tennessee. And he's been a good find. He's been a good 49er. Like I mentioned, he was on his way to being potentially the Super Bowl MVP when they were playing the Chiefs a couple years ago.
Was a 7th round pick, by the way.
7th round pick out of Tennessee. So that's a good find, and you want to keep those guys around. He's using the timing. He's using the momentum and the situation to his benefit. And to a certain degree, if I'm the 49ers, he got us. He got us this time. We're in a pinch. If Pearsall was 100% healthy and there was no issue, do you think, let me ask you, Jesse, do you think you would be a little bit more reluctant to just give in to his demands?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not, because like I just don't know what Ricky Pearsall is either way. Like he played a little bit last year and there was like flashes and stuff like that, but it's just I can't say definitively like, yes, this guy can lead us this season. We don't need to pay Jauan Jennings. Like I think what I'm looking at is like there's no trust in that wide receiver room. So I'd still say like, yeah, you probably still have to pay Jauan, at least for this year. Maybe give him some guarantees or whatever because he's on a contract year and all that. But I think you'd have to help him out a little bit,
right?
Because the receiver room does look a little weak right now.
Yeah, and because I was listening to something yesterday, and they're 100% right. They asked the question. I think it was Cal Okami and Matt Barrows. They asked the question. They're like, all right, if Jauan Jennings isn't on the team, who's the 1 and 2 receivers? And it was like, all right, it would probably be Pearsall and Robinson, but Pearsall's on the PUP list.
Robinson could get suspended.
Yeah, Robinson's going to be. So who is it after that? Who is it week 1? We're talking about Cowing and one of the rookies. So they're in a little bit of a pinch. Now, one of the things that I might also say if I was the 49ers is, yeah, but we got George Kittle. So Jauan Jennings, like you're asking for, I believe, $20 million a year. Now that's football money, NFL money. I know the guarantees is more important than all this other stuff, but you want to be paid. And your argument is simply, and essentially, I'm your number 1 receiver.
Yeah. You just threw out a number right there, 20. I can't do 20.
I don't want to I don't want to misrepresent Jawan.
No, yeah, I'm
but
just
I
saying
feel
if we're
like
talking if we're talking numbers, like just throw some numbers out there, like 14, 15 for this season, like sure, that's fair, I think, for Jauan Jennings. But if you wanna, I feel like 20 is like, all right, just play this
feel like
year out and then go look for that next year.
yeah, I feel like I've heard 20. Like I said,
Yeah.
forgive me. I don't want to, if he hasn't asked for that, I don't want to misrepresent him. But I feel like I've heard he wants 20 or close to 20 with the new contract. But I'm looking at it like, all right, man. Um, look, you want that, but essentially George Kittle is our number one pass catcher. And then Pearsall is coming back. Who knows what he's going to be? But what about, and they may feel differently than I do about this guy and what he could be in the future. But what about when Brandon Ayuk comes back? So you could be looking at, you're like the third option in the offense. And Christian McCaffrey might be before you. And if I agree to this right now, I'm gonna be paying the guy that's the third or fourth option in the offense 17, 18, 19, $20 million a year.
Yeah,
Like that sounds a
counterpoint.
little crazy.
Counterpoint though, like we've never seen a receiver really come back from an ACL tear and like just be
Well,
what he used to be. And
that's how I feel.
CMC as good as he is, like we had no clue what the hell was going on with his Achilles all the last year or whatever. And it's just kind of like, are we sure he's ready to go? Like I know he says he's healthy and stuff, but like we're ready to trust him again.
That's well, I understand that. And the point about Ayuk, that's how I feel too. I can't trust that he's gonna come back, especially this year, anywhere close to where he was before. Here's a counterpoint from the league, and this is where things get contentious.
Oh, nice,
and
we're negotiating.
And I don't know if you want to go here. I don't know if you want to go here. But I'd say this. It's like, Jauan, you're right. The wide receiver room was it's pretty rough right now. Last year was pretty rough. It might have even actually been a little better because Debo was around, depending on how you feel about him. But you were essentially the number one option last year. Were we any good? Did it help us at all?
I did my job.
You did. But did it help us at all? Were we any good? Is this a situation where it's like, hey, like essentially, I could be making an argument whether we pay you or not, we're gonna be in trouble with you as the number one. If you're the number one, we're gonna be in trouble.
Hey John, maybe we weren't good because you drafted the receiver who couldn't stay on the field.
How about you get out of my office?
Damn. I feel like I had a point there.
The moral of the story is I do believe they're going to play Jauan Jennings. I do think they should for a number of different reasons, but it has not gone well when these guys have held out and they tried to pay him. It just has not gone well. There's not a lot of success stories in that situation. And Jerry